Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you doing today? We have a special guest for you today. We actually have somebody who viewed my YouTube channel. I actually don't remember which video it was, but he raised his hand. He said, "Hey, I've done 8 BRRRR projects. They can be done. They can be done successfully out of state. I see lots of risk in that, but Albert's done it. Let's welcome Albert to the show, and we're going to dig into how the heck he's doing BRRRR projects out of state. Craziness. How you doing, Albert?"
Doing very well. Thanks, Michael. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for reaching out. Thanks for agreeing to talk with somebody you've never met. I always appreciate social media for that, the power of that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So do me a favor, set up that first BRRRR project, right? BRRRR obviously is buy,
hmm
rehab, rent, refi, repeat. This is, one of those strategies that if you do it right, you could in theory get into a rental property
hmm
with none of your own cash, right? It's it's that special thing that if you do it right, you finance it right, you can really get a portfolio with none of your own capital. So it's a topic lots of people like to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. My story started in 2013. I had saved up a while, been a mortgage broker at that point for about 3 years.
Okay.
So, I had been saving. I had read the Purple Bible, which I poured out, of course, and I figured, I had to create some passive income. So I figured, I would just save and do it the traditional way. I could have done FHA, but this was out of state. I was in Orange County at
Okay.
the time. I'm living in Orange County, and I bought up in Tacoma. So put 25% down.
Okay.
At those days in 2013, it was easy to find distressed deals. They're all over the place.
Yeah, they were.
Um,
Yeah.
and it was 305,000. It was a fourplex in Tacoma. 3 bedroom, 1 bath, 1,000 square foot each unit.
Mm.
Oh, actually, there was a powder, so maybe it's 1.25.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
since it's a powder room,
Gotcha.
so yeah, they were renting around 750 to 800 per unit at the time.
Okay.
Um, and slowly through time, so it's a long-term BRRRR.
Sure.
I rehab every single unit as soon as everyone moved out. Um, and right now it's probably around 850 to 950,
Woo.
depending on how you appraise it.
Yeah.
The gross rents are anywhere between 1450 on the less rehabbed units, and the
Yep.
more rehabbed ones, probably about 1600 right now.
All right. So let's
So
break. I love this deal. So let's break down this first
that's
fourplex.
quick,
So
right?
yeah, no, it's wonderful. So you're sitting in Orange County, some of the most expensive dirt
Mhm.
on the planet.
Yeah.
I'm always interested. What brought you to Tacoma, right? Did you have family there? Did you have boots on the ground that you
Uh-huh.
trusted? I mean, what was it? I mean, you could have picked lots of market, and let's be clear, right? Tacoma
Right.
is cheap at 305, but a lot of the country would have been
Right.
cheaper. So what brought you there?
Yeah. I saw 100, actually, I saw fourplexes in Riverside County they were 450 in
Yeah.
2006.
Yeah.
And in that 2013, 2012, they were like 125,000.
Oh yeah.
But when I went there, I was just a little thrown off. There's police cars everywhere. Every 3 blocks, there's
Yeah.
another. So
Another
I
police car.
felt a bit unsafe.
Yeah.
Yeah, another police car. That's a lot of police cars for just one visit.
Yeah.
So I figured, I'm going to find an area that's going to be a little bit better for the first time person at the
Okay.
time. But my aunt lives there, so I did have some family. I visited her and
Okay.
with my mother, and we checked out some real estate there, and that's how it kind of all began. I did numbers during my trip,
Sure.
and at the time I didn't have the 1% of the price
Hmm.
rule in terms of rents,
Hmm.
but I did. Uh, when I was a finance major, and they always said cash on cash return. So I
Yep.
did the actual calculation.
Yeah.
For
Yield.
me, it was 10% at the time.
Nice.
Yield, yeah, I needed 10%.
Nice.
Um, yeah, I just followed the books,
Yeah.
and that's how I determined my first deal that it was okay. I never knew the rents would go that high. I figured I could probably get it to
None
maybe
of us did.
850. Yeah, 850. I thought maybe 850. Maybe I
Yeah.
was lucky.
Right.
Um, so that's what I was thinking at the time.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
hundred dollar bump.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So wow. So again, the biggest thing when I hear people do out of state BRRRRs, again, BRRRR is a wonderful strategy. It's obviously easier if it's closer, obviously. So you can check on it, drive by it, all of that.
Mhm.
But again, if you're going to do out of state, it is that boots on the ground, right? So I'm just curious how you use that
Yeah.
relationship. So I'm hoping, maybe is the right word,
Oh
that
yeah.
maybe the aunt would drive by once every couple of weeks and say, "Hey, Albert, somebody's not doing this or not doing that, or why is there a car on the
No.
grass, or what was
Yeah.
the aunt doing?"
Well, I did trust. In this case, it didn't turn bad. It was good, a good trust. I
Mhm.
trusted the realtor, and
Okay.
they referred a local property management company.
Hmm.
But they were really old fashioned. But I think one good thing about this property management company was that they were very good with people. They were very
Hmm.
good at vetting actual tenants. Tech wise, they were not so good. I
Yeah.
got them to switch to Appfolio at the time because apparently Appfolio was new at the time, but I heard about it for many years.
Okay.
And I got them to switch to nice tech that I could, click refresh and
Yeah.
see my numbers every other day.
Right.
But at the time, they were giving me monthly statements. It was
Yeah.
pretty scary. I just didn't want them to spend all my rent money. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah, I do.
So yeah. So I trusted them in that, but they were good at one thing that I got lucky on is they were good at actually vetting good people.
Okay.
So we got reasonably good people. All these years, I've only had one eviction.
Well, that's not bad. That's not bad.
So
All right.
yeah,
So let's
been
stay on
about
this first
eight,
deal. So you buy at 305. Yeah, 305.
305.
You tenants recycle, you remodel or clean up, if you will. What
Right.
are we talking? Are we talking $5,000? Are we talking 15 grand? What was kind of the blend for a 1,000 square foot?
Oh, the remodel at the
Yeah.
first remodel, I didn't know what to do
Yeah.
because I was a newbie. I just did $5,000. I just did
Okay.
paint, knobs,
Yeah.
flooring, and touch up paint, and
Yeah.
some of the lights were out, so we would replace some of the fixtures. That
Yeah.
was it.
Yeah.
I didn't do any cabinets, no new counters, and nothing, no new baseboards or
Nothing.
heaters or anything.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then what was the big
and I
one?
was
What
able to get.
was, sorry, go ahead.
Uh-huh. I did a 25K rehab. That one was a big jump, but that was later on in 16.
Okay.
Because this is a property I slowly rehabbed over time. And I constantly got new HELOC or home equity lines of credit on.
Oh, okay.
So I would get more and more equity because the value kept going up. And in 16, it was maybe worth 450, 500.
Okay.
So over time, I got bigger lines, and now
Yeah.
I have a bigger line on it now.
Okay.
But yeah, during the biggest rehab was during 16. I spent 25K on it. It's one of the lower units.
Hmm.
And at the time I thought, 1395 was insane. I got 1395. Everything else was 1150 at the time, all the other units in 2016.
Okay.
So I had almost $300 bump. And
Yeah.
that was, to me, that was pretty big.
Yeah.
Because 250 extra times 12, 3,000 a year. So my minimum for my rehab was similar to my buy criteria. I wanted to make
Yes.
over 10% cash on cash.
For sure.
But not only that, from a lender point of view, I was thinking, okay, what is this going to add to the value?
Hmm.
And as a lender, I know I can cash out to 70% on a 1-to-4 unit
Hmm.
from a conventional Fannie Mae point of view. So I wanted to make sure I was under the 70 so I can get all my original money back eventually.
Makes total sense.
Um,
Okay. All right.
yeah,
So okay, you buy this in 13. You still own it today?
I do.
Okay.
So
So 8 years
yeah.
have gone by. So it sounds like what you did is you put in traditional financing up front, right? 25% down, 30-year fixed.
Yeah.
Back in 13, I'm going to guess rates were 5.75%, 6%, something like that.
I was an originator, right? So I did my own loan. So I
I'm
didn't charge myself anything. So it was 4%, 30-year fix. But
Oh,
yeah, it
damn.
was really good for the time.
Yeah.
I mean, even today it's decent.
Yeah. For an
Um,
investment loan, for
but
sure.
yeah,
So, okay. So you had really good money.
yeah.
Hence, you probably haven't refied it then. You probably haven't bothered. You just add a HELOC on top.
Yeah, I just added heel. I didn't want to touch the first
Yeah, of
because it was
course.
so good. I didn't want
Yeah.
to, mess with it.
Yeah, you only got 22 years left or whatever it is. So yeah, makes total sense. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you've obviously used the HELOC you've already shared with us to kind of remodel the unit, right? You talked about that 25K unit.
Hmm.
I'm guessing that became a bank for your next couple of purchases. Is that a fair assumption?
I had a condo in Orange County. I ended up selling because I moved to Washington,
Okay.
but I didn't move there till the fourth fourplex. But in between the second, the third, and the fourth, how I purchased them. The first two were actually from savings.
Okay.
And just
Got it.
I borrowed against one of the cars, so I get really creative.
Oh, yeah.
We
I
did
did that. Yeah.
borrowed against. Had a free and clear car. I went to Penn Fed Credit Union.
Mhm.
Got I think it was 100%
Value. Yeah.
of. I think it wasn't Kelly Blue Book. It was some other one.
Yep, I did that.
whatever that value is, right?
Yeah.
You got 100% of it. They send you a check. It's pretty cool, right? And you can
Yeah.
use it because
Yeah.
lenders, as long as it's secured money, you can use it.
Yep.
So I bought the second one with savings and a cash out title loan.
Yep.
Um,
Okay. That's
the
good.
third and fourth, I sold a condo in
So you showed your
Orange
primary
County. So I
residence.
got some proceeds.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing
It was a primary residence.
it was or
Yeah.
was not.
It was at the time it wasn't. It was a rental, but I had lived in there prior
Right.
to this recent year. It
Mhm.
was a primary and then it became a rental. But yeah, I sold it
So then that gave you
and
the
I was able to get
250K tax-free, no taxes.
yeah,
Gotcha.
right. So
Okay.
then I bought number 3 and number 4 fourplex.
Okay.
And so I just wanted to buy fourplexes because it was the most units you can get with
Yeah.
financing. I understood
Yeah.
because at the
Residential.
time I read about commercial, but I never used it.
Okay.
So
All right. So
yeah.
what year did you get the final? Would you get the fourth fourplex? What year did you get that? Roughly is fine.
That one was 14.
So by the end
So
of
the first two,
13,
yeah,
by 14, you already have 4 fourplexes. So 24 months.
right. So 16 doors.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
right.
Wow. That's cool.
I
All
mean, it
in
was
the
a
same
sale, so
area.
it wasn't like I saved all that money, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah, all the same area. So the same management company managed it.
Perfect.
I was able to negotiate down from 8% management fee
Of
down
course.
to 7. So I mean, it saved 1%. It wasn't
Hey,
like, you know,
it adds
didn't
up.
change my life,
Yeah.
but it adds up. Yeah.
Yeah. It adds up.
So
That's cool.
yeah.
All right. So did all 4 of those fourplexes go just the same traditional 30-year fixed rate loans?
Um, the second one, yes. The
Okay.
third one, what was the third one? Bridgeport. Yeah, the third one conventional as well.
Okay.
But the fourth one, it was completely, it was like vacant. And there was people, you know, hoarders in there.
Oh yeah.
So that
Squatters.
one, it was the first time I ever used HML, hard money lending. You know, that's
Oh,
the
there
first
you
time I ever
go.
used hard money. In 2014, it wasn't cheap. It's not like now where, you know, it's probably
Yeah.
8.5% and 1 or 2 points. It
Yeah.
was 14% and 2 points.
Oh, I
Yeah.
remember doing
So,
deals
so
at 12
yeah.
and 2. Yeah. 12 and 2,
Yeah.
14 and 2.
Yeah. 12 and 2, 14. I was the
Woo!
first time. So, you know, it
Oh
was
yeah, you got a
14 and
bump
2,
from
but
yeah. First time, hit them, get them.
yeah,
All right.
I know.
So walk me through that one.
So
That'll be
that
a
was,
fun one. So you get what was
so
it?
that one's a traditional BRRRR in
Yeah.
traditional sense, because the
Let's
other
do
ones I
that.
slowly rehabbed and created value and then refinanced over time, right?
Right.
But the fourth one was an actual one where it was all vacant. I rehabbed all 4 units.
Oof.
It was 244
Okay.
for the fourplex purchase.
Got it.
It's 3,300 square feet,
Okay.
and they're all 2 bedroom, 1 bath.
Got it. 2 stories, like
And
2
that
on
one,
the bottom, 2 on top, or 4?
2 stories.
Okay, 2 stories. Yep.
Yeah, 2 on the bottom and 2 on the top. So it has the stairs, and then
Yep.
you know for the top 2 units.
Okay.
So that style of units. So 244. I spent two points. So the loan was like it's like 5K in points, 4,800 or 5K in points.
Gotcha.
And the rehab was about 93, as I recall, 93,000 for all the units. That was roof. That was a some siding repair. Rehab every single unit with shaker cabinets. At the time I used granite. I didn't know about quartz. At the time I didn't know about vinyl plank, so I used carpet but I did fix all the fixtures, everything. There was a broken window. There was you know some bullet shells, so we had to remove those. So yeah, so it's all part of doing the BRRRRs, right?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna, the only way to really do a BRRRR, just people need to hear this, is you need to buy
Yeah.
a pretty significant value add opportunity, right? Because you're trying to make a spread, right?
Yeah.
You're trying for every dollar you're putting
Yeah.
in, you're trying to get $1.30 of value, right? That's what you're trying to
Yeah.
do with the BRRRR, so you can refi your 70% out. I mean, that's the goal. So when you did this hard money loan, just for other people know,
Yeah.
the purchase price was 244, repairs, let's just call it 100.
Right.
What did they borrow? What did they lend you, right? Did they lend you 200 and then you escrowed the 100 and you got draws, or how'd all that work?
I did it pretty risky. I didn't know about rehab because it was my first time using hard money, right?
Okay.
So I didn't know that you could include the rehab in the
Oh.
hard money. I mean, nowadays I know that, but
Yeah.
at the time I didn't. So I just put 20% down. I borrowed 80. That was it, and we financed the points.
Okay, so the points were baked in. So you borrowed.
So yeah.
Okay, so you had to bring in roughly 50 grand, roughly.
Yeah, but I did know enough to structure the loan as 100%. So what we did was we took the 20%, right? We
Okay.
put it in a collateral side account. The
Okay.
agreement with the hard money lender was if it appraised high enough and I could refinance the entire 250 something,
Right.
that they will release the 20 back to me. So in essence, I have a 100% loan and I will release my 20K back to me.
Got
But that was all predicated on it appraising high enough.
it. Yeah.
I talked to the hard money lender because I understood lending, you know, so I knew what I had to appraise for. And so that part I had. So I had a little bit of leg up than the average person, I guess, because I knew what the values needed to be and what the income needed to be to qualify.
Sure. But how much time did
So
they
yeah,
give
they give me 6 months on that one.
you?
Those,
Woo!
you know,
That's
I finished it in 3 though. I bought it in
damn,
late
you're good.
October. Maybe I'm lucky with the contractor. He did okay work, you know, looking back compared to now, but it was
Yeah.
decent work.
But again,
Not the best.
I mean, again, I don't know Seattle or Tacoma at all, but I mean, I've purchased vacant or squatter properties, and sometimes in California, you can't even start work for 60 days because those damn squatters have rights, you know? So,
Oh, you did a little bit of a rewind was the one squatter, because what happened was the lady who bought it she bought it for like 440
uh-huh.
with a 90-10-10. So
Oh
she
yeah,
100% financing back in
countrywide loans. I
2006.
remember those.
Yeah. So she didn't know how to manage it. So what she did was she master leased it to the city of Tacoma, and they put in low income and
Oh wow.
people. So they were not really. I mean, they weren't paying. I guess you can't say they're squatting, but the city didn't want to manage it either. So they just decided to short sell it, and they moved all their residents out. So that's how I was able to get everyone out in less than 30
Quick.
days.
Okay.
They just moved everyone out.
So
Yeah.
so the leaseor, the city's like, hey, new owner, we'll take them, we'll put them somewhere else. You're good to go. Oh, that's helpful. Yeah.
Right. But there was no guarantee at close. I closed with the tenant there. They just gave us a verbal that they would move out. You know, they could have just squatted and stayed there for many
months.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So you got a little lucky there. I've been, that cash for keys, lots of other stuff could work. So, okay. So you go in at this point. I'm curious, are you still in Orange County? Or are you up at this project weekly or what's going on?
Yeah, now that it's a massive rehab, right? The other ones were just 1 unit rehabs that would come up every 3 months, but this one was a big one. And in the first draw was 20K. I didn't want to hand 20K to some random contractor.
No.
So I literally met the contractor and his parents at an Applebee's, had lunch with them. They seemed like good people. I'm like, if I get scammed on this, this is like a big fail, because I had good feelings, I didn't have any suspicions.
Okay.
Like, these are good people. So I trusted him. Nowadays, I have much better vetting. I've got like skip tracing and all sorts of stuff.
Right.
But back then it was just a gut. It was a gut feel, write a check.
Yeah.
20K, started the 93,000 rehab project.
Yeah.
20K started. Yeah.
Started, right. Insane. Materials and all of that, right. It makes total sense. Okay.
I was scared.
Yeah.
But I did it. So.
How often did you go to the project? You hand them 20 grand. Are you there daily, weekly, monthly? What's going on?
At that time, the lender I was working for had an office down the street in Tacoma downtown.
Okay.
So I figured, shoot, if I could work here, I have representation from the company I'm working with. I could just move in as an owner occupant. It makes it easier to refi too, because the amount of loan you can get is higher, loan to value.
Yep.
So that was an advantage. I saw that as a less risk. And I was already up there every month. I was coming up there just to check out the project.
Okay.
During this time. So that was October 14 till I finished in late February 15. So that 3 or 4 month span right there.
All right. So, okay, finish up at 4 months. So do you actually move in? Do you actually assume ownership?
I did. Yeah, I did. I mean, as a lender, we have no defense, right? If we say primary and we're called out, then we have no defense because we're assumed to be a professional.
Of course.
So.
All right. So you move in.
So yeah, I did move in. Yeah.
That's awesome. And then how long did it take you, or I guess not you, the property manager, to lease the other 3?
I was scared that it wouldn't take long. Oh, it would take long.
Right.
But it was actually pretty quick. We leased them at $9.95 per unit plus 65 water, sewer, garbage for flat fee. Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And they all leased up. That was roughly $3,150 a month.
And then you go back.
The mortgage was.
Yeah, do a refi. Yep. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I refinanced. Sorry, there was hard money is way more. It was like 2,500 interest only.
Oh, Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So
14 points. I mean, what do you 14%? That's
yeah,
healthy.
yeah, yeah, 40%, right. Yeah. So then that was not even tax. If you included tax,
Oh,
insurance, and everything, it would have been like 3,000.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
at least, yeah.
So
But you
I
get
was
to
able
keep
to
it.
refi that down to 1560,
Oh,
actually
nice.
1565.
Okay.
So I was bringing in 3,100, 3,150, right? And
Yeah,
then I had management fee. I wanted to make sure none of my tenants knew I was a
of course.
owner. I
Oh yeah, me too.
so
Nice.
yeah.
So you're living for free.
So that one worked out.
Yeah. You were house
Yeah.
hacking and you were house hacking a BRRRR. Talk about being creative.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's house hacking and a burr. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. It is both
Yeah, it's
actually.
both
It's
powerful. I
house
mean, if you can
hacking
house
and
hack
burr.
a BRRRR, that's awesome. Best financing, most
Yeah.
leverage. It's like you said,
Yeah.
I don't think most people picked up on it. The biggest
Yeah.
risk in a BRRRR is actually the last R. It's the refi.
Yeah.
Refis are more
The refi is the
conservative.
biggest risk.
Yeah, they're more conservative. It's not a purchase
Yeah.
appraisal. It's a refi appraisal. They're a lot more conservative. But if you're doing a house hack, you can go higher because you won't do 70% or 75 LTV. You'll go to
Yeah.
80%. So that's pretty genius.
Yeah.
All right. So now you've got.
The funny thing was I actually didn't get the full 250 though, actually. The
Oh, you
appraisal only
didn't.
came in at the time because it's still a slow market.
Yeah, that's true.
It's 2015, right?
Yeah.
3, 4 months later. So it's 2015. There weren't very good comps for
Mm.
fourplexes in downtown.
Oh, wow.
So my appraisal was, I believe, 330.
Okay.
So it was only high enough to get out the original 244. So I had to bring in 10K to pay the hard money points. I got 244, which is the purchase price.
It
So
was.
all my rehab was stuck in there
Mm.
for 2 more years. Later on, when the value went up more, I was able to get a HELOC and actually get all my original rehab too. I got everything out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just sat there for 2
So it
years.
was an infinite return.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was a 2-stepper, 2 R's, refi.
Refi. There you go. So, okay, now we're sitting at
Yeah.
16 doors. You've done two or three conventional.
Yeah.
You've done your first true BRRRR, value add BRRRR. Where do you go next? Because you've got 4 more. Do you go heavy, buy them trashed, or are you buying normal? What are you buying next?
Yeah, I've got two duplexes after in similar situations. They were all short sales. They were all, waiting for the short sale pre-approval letter from, I forgot what the lenders were, like B of A or Green Tree or SLS, one of those companies.
Oh yeah.
It's one of them, or Chase. I remember one of them was Chase.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would buy them. They were usually vacant, and those ones were all full BRRRRs too. Vacant, full rehab, everything.
All right. So you go back to hard money lender.
Yes, they were all hard money. So I learned hard money. I was like, wow, this is really cool. I can finance the entire thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have to put that side collateral account I was talking about earlier, the down payment. And the reason why I did that was because I wanted the entire hard money loan to be bigger so I could refinance all of it out as a regular refi.
Of course.
Because if you do a smaller hard money loan, then we would have to do a cash out refi, which is harder as a conventional lender.
Yep.
So that's the reason why I did that. Because some people ask me, why would I do that? So
yeah, that makes perfect sense. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So now you get 2 more duplexes. Are we into 16 or where's this timeline?
It's 20. So it's yeah, I was in late 15 and then early 16. I got the 2 duplexes.
All right.
And since I could use hard money and finance most of it, I didn't need much capital, right?
Right, of course.
That's so I spent my money rehabbing units. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
awesome. So I had to be creative. I had loans for cars, and at the time I learned about, using money from unsecured lines.
Yeah.
They say you can't use unsecured money, and it's true, but you can only not use unsecured money during the actual loan process. If you had unsecured money from let's say a personal line of credit, you could just park it in your account for 2 or 3 or longer months, and it would be considered your money,
right, from
a lending standpoint.
Yeah.
But during a loan, if they see you take out that unsecured money, then yeah, you can't use it to close with.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah.
All right.
I would use that to repair. I mean, at that time I was very tight. I had to use everything I could to do the rehabs.
Yeah. For us, we did a lot of this. We were doing houses, not too many units, but we were borrowing hard money for the entire purchase price. And we were pretty much doing the same thing. We were funding the repairs, and then we would come back at the end and we would go private money because the loans were kind of small. They were sub 100K. We would take the hard money out and we'd get all of our repair money back. We did that 50 times, 40 times. It's pretty cool.
So you just rinse and repeat them? That's
Oh yeah,
pretty crazy.
I was writing about it on Bigger Pockets way back before they created the BRRRR thing. And I guess, I wasn't just smart enough to make it an acronym. So good for them.
Yeah, me either. I just called it infinite return in my
That works
mind,
for
as
me.
if I
Yeah.
can get all my original, yeah, the original money back. And
Yeah.
I just called
All
it
I was
infinite
trying to
deal.
do
So
is,
realtors and brokers.
yeah, I was just trying to add
Yeah,
houses with none of my own money. Just if I had to leave my money in there for 90
right.
days while I was working it, fine, but I'd want to get it back out as fast as
Yeah.
I could. That was a lot of fun. So when is the last property you bought? What year was that?
Last one I bought was this December. It
Oh,
was
so
West Seattle.
2020.
So these are
Okay.
more expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2020. These are more expensive. They're 860 for the fourplex.
Woo!
Currently, they're probably around 1,050,000 to 1.1, even with
Wow.
no rehab right now.
Wow.
So I that's the entry price. It needs a ton of work. And this is a different type of area, right? It's not Tacoma anymore. Tacoma would be closer to like maybe a Riverside County or a
Okay.
San Bernardino County
Sure.
in
I know.
terms of
Yep.
type of incomes and folks. West Seattle is median income 115 per
Woo!
household, so it's
Yeah.
twice as much as Tacoma.
Right.
There's way more upside in the rents, but this is appreciation too. So my goal in that is to slowly rehab as well because they're all tenanted. So
Mhm.
right now I'm actually rehabbing one of the units downstairs. It's a
Okay.
studio. So I can't talk about burning the entire property. I wish,
Yeah.
because
That's
we're in
okay.
the middle of this interesting moratorium,
Yeah. No joke.
and we can't really do the entire project at one time.
Yeah. So
So
do you have a tenant do you have
want me
any
to?
tenants that are not paying? I'm just curious. Do you have a bunch of units?
I have two that
Yeah.
are, well, they pay partially, and then right now they're not paying the last month, but then there's two. So there are two
Yeah. I have
right
two.
now.
I have two problem ones. Yeah. Very cool. So again, the BRRRR project for you started out of state. You've since moved there. You've gone bigger and bigger. I mean, I'm curious that
Yeah.
244, was that the first one? No, what was it? 305. 305 was your
Fourth one,
first.
yeah.
305 was the first purchase.
First one, yeah.
What do you think it's worth today conservatively? 800?
I'd say 850, really
850.
low.
Okay.
I doubt it. It will probably be around
900.
950.
So not
Um,
bad appreciation. Not bad.
no, yeah, that's the one thing I liked about being in Tacoma was it was kind of like a hybrid market
Mm-hmm.
where you got cash flow, but you also got appreciation. Most probably because from the 50 to 60,000 engineers that Amazon hired, that money kind of just
Oh yeah,
exploded everywhere.
for sure.
Especially when their stock went to like 2 or 3,000 during COVID.
Yeah.
It really, and all these tech people, they didn't know where to put it, so they had to exercise their stock
Yeah.
units,
RSUs. Yeah.
and I guess they bought everything up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So that's the one thing we deal with here that I don't have a lot of in Orange County. Like most of the clients I work with from a lending side, they're not usually tech in Orange County, but
Yeah.
here
Lots of tech.
in Bellevue, they seem to be mostly tech.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So at this point, you've done 7 BRRRRs complete and you're in your 8th. Am I got the story kind of right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you
There
have,
was a townhome in between there.
okay.
So sorry. Yeah,
It's all
there was a townhome. Yeah.
sounds like you sold it, or what does that mean? There was
No, I kept it. It was like, I don't usually do one unit
Oh,
properties,
I got it. Okay.
but it was a great deal. I mean, it was in an area that I knew at the time would rent for 12, 1300.
Yeah.
It was 95,000. So you
Oh,
can kind of see
all
the
day.
numbers right there.
Yeah.
The rehab was 25. So I spent 120
Yeah.
and I ended up renting for 1,500 in that time. That was 2017.
Okay.
Now it's renting for 1,850, but at that time I thought 1,400 was my target at the
Wow.
time
That's
for that
awesome.
deal.
So at this point, since
So
you're in the business of mortgage, and we'll talk about that in a minute, at this point,
yeah.
I'm guessing at least 7 of them have 30-year money on them. Is that fair?
Later on, I ended up going to a commercial credit union and just
Oh,
getting
okay.
a blanket note,
Sure.
a massive line of credit. I
Yep.
mean, partly for simplicity because it was a little bit higher. It was 4.5, but I could pay one line and didn't have to micromanage like 2 or 3 loans per property because each property had a first mortgage and then it had a
HELOC.
second and
Yeah.
yeah. So there was like all these micro payments we had to do every month on auto pay, and it
It's
was
like, ah.
I don't know how you deal with it, but yeah, I mean, you must be really good with details because gosh,
I am not, but my wife is. So we are divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Okay. Good.
yeah, for
Good.
about
Yeah.
60 minutes a month, she's not very happy, but it works out. That's cool. So you have the commercial
Yeah.
line now. That's awesome. Are you still doing, I
Mhm.
mean, how can you find BRRRR projects that work? I mean, that's the one thing that, again, I think when BRRRR gets hot, people start
Yeah.
writing books about it. It's almost the wrong time, right? BRRRR was really cool in
Yeah.
13, really cool in 14, really cool in 15.
Mhm.
I would put BRRRR up there with
Yeah.
pretty risky in 2021.
It is. It is. I would say it's very risky right now. You really have to have a plan B and C and D.
Oh yeah.
Like my plan is, luckily I'm in a higher income industry. I could probably just plow through or use my other cash flow to supplement the current birds that go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That's a risk I've taken.
Mm-hmm.
And there is upside. There is upside the rents and everything, but still things could go wrong, right? I could be overpaying. The rehab could go over.
Yeah,
Happen all the
your
time.
margin
The
of
rehab
safety,
costs. Yeah.
margin of safety in
Hmm.
2021 versus 2014 is microscopic today,
Yeah.
right? You had a huge
Yeah.
margin.
It's like this. Before it was like this,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just want people to hear this. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a book out there by, Bigger Pockets author that makes it look easy. And I just got to remind people it
Hmm.
was easy in 2014. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily easy in 2021, especially with no inventory. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm seeing junk today sell for retail prices. I mean, how can you find
Yeah.
value add when junk
That's
sells for
true.
retail, right? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. And he lived probably 50 minutes away from Tacoma
Yeah.
in Grays Harbor. It's another county to the west of Tacoma.
Yeah.
And bigger Brandon Hall, right? Can we say
Yeah.
that? Or
Yeah. Go ahead. I don't mind. Yeah.
is that Brandon Hall? No, not Brandon Hall. Brandon,
Turner.
the guy from Bigger Pockets.
Yeah.
Turner.
Turner.
Yeah,
Brandon
Brandon
Turner.
Hall is in a turn
Yeah.
accountant. Yeah,
Yeah.
Turner. Sorry.
Brandon
Yeah.
Turner is in Hawaii now, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Good for him. But yeah, it's I just want people to realize that BRRRR is amazing. BRRRR is a way
Uh,
to get in and out of properties and have no cash, infinite return, to your point, Albert. The last
mhm.
R, the refi, catches a lot of people, right? It's like
It's the most dangerous.
I needed to appraise for 300. It came in at 280. I'm mad at the appraiser. He's too conservative, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm like, you can't do anything about it. Where
No,
are you going to
yeah,
find the 20 grand? Right. Especially if you
right.
had hard money, right? If all that's wrapped up in hard money and you need
Oh, it's so
300, you only
scary.
got 280, folks, just hear Albert tell you it was much easier in 2013 than 2021.
The one good thing about those back in the day was that you can buy them really cheap, right? But the downside was nothing was selling high. So
Yes.
my appraisal was hard.
Yeah.
The I had to pay full price, or higher price.
Yeah.
So there, whether you're in 2014 or whether you're in 2021, there's always an adversity.
Yeah,
There's always
that's
some
true.
kind of
Yeah.
adversity.
I remember appraisals being a challenge because there was almost
Yeah,
nothing going retail. It was all distressed.
right,
And that's hard to comp.
right,
That's how I got around it with private money because there's no appraisal in private money. So
right.
that was,
Exactly. And appraisers technically they cannot use distress comps as comps, but the problem was every comp was distressed. You had to use them.
they had to,
Everything was
everything.
distressed.
There was the only stuff transacting for
Yeah,
like 4 years.
yeah,
It was crazy.
right.
Well, Albert, do me a favor. If somebody's looking for financing in this space, I know you're in Washington.
Yeah,
How should they reach out to you? How should they follow you?
right.
What's going on?
Yeah, they could feel free to give me a call. I'd be happy to help them out. It's 866-203-0050. And our company is Avenue One Capital, and I'm a loan officer. And be happy to help anybody. Email is also Albert, Albert, at Avenue, spelled out the digit 1, and then CAP for
Very,
cap.com.
very cool.
So
And just so we
appreciate
know
it.
what you're helping people with, is it residential? Is it commercial? Is it private money, hard money? What are we doing?
It's 1 to 4,
Yep.
1 to 4 conventional. I mean, there's FHA, jumbo, VA. Mainly I focus on just helping investors. I mean, I work with first time buyers, if it's a referral from my friend or realtors, but
Sure.
most of the people I'm trying to help are the people that were doing BRRRRs like I've done,
Yeah.
who've gone through the anxiety of this refi, of trying to get out of the hard money. Because it's really scary when you're paying 14%.
Oh,
you
I'm
know,
into that.
2 points.
And now are you just servicing Washington State? Are you national? What's the story there?
Licensed in 9 states.
Okay.
So it's Washington, Oregon, California, Idaho, Texas, Tennessee, um, did I say Colorado? Colorado,
Okay.
Oklahoma, and Florida.
Very
Yeah.
cool. So 9
So
states.
9 states.
Very cool. Well, Albert,
Yeah.
this has been a lot of fun. Any closing thoughts on BRRRR projects, the do's and don'ts that you want to leave people with?
I would have to agree with you on back when you said the most risky part is that exit refi.
Yeah.
And I always try to help people before they even get into the hard money or private money up front. How are they going to get out?
Yeah.
And we're already looking at comps.
That's awesome.
I'm looking at all that stuff, trying to help people plan that, the riskiest part. In my opinion, the riskiest part. So that would be my last thought on that.
That is great advice. You've really got to look at the exit, and folks, be more conservative. I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many people have brought me comps. Michael, see, the comps say it should be 212. How did it get me 177? Folks, purchase money appraisal versus a refi appraisal, completely different. Very, very conservative. So Albert, thank you for your time, man. Thanks for reaching out.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Good connecting with you, Michael.
Thank you, buddy.
Have a good one.